Destiny 2 developer Bungie lays off dozens of staff. The full scope of the layoffs is unclear. Destiny 2 developer Bungie is laying off an unspecified number of people. Bungie CEO Pete Parsons confirmed Monday after employees began speaking up about the job cuts on social media. Reached for comment, a Bungie representative pointed Polygon to Parsons' statement on X, formerly Twitter, and did not clarify the scope of the layoffs. Dozens of ex-Bungie employees have since posted on social media platforms like X and LinkedIn to share the news that they were impacted by the layoffs. The layoffs appear to be spread across Bungie's community and social teams, marketing, legal, recruiting, art, human resources, quality assurance, and elsewhere. Today is a sad day at Bungie as we say goodbye to colleagues who have all made a significant impact on our studio, Parsons wrote. With what these exceptional individuals have contributed to our games and Bungie culture has been enormous, and will continue to be a part of Bungie long into the future. Parsons' post has received hundreds of responses on X, several of which have been critical, using phrases like tone deaf to describe Parsons' statement. Sony Interactive Entertainment purchased Bungie in 2022 in an $8.6 billion deal. PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan, who is stepping down from the company in March, said at the time that the studio will remain independent and multi-platform and will enjoy creative freedom. A Washington Post report published days after the acquisition said Bungie leadership told staff there would be absolutely no layoffs as a result of the acquisition. Sony also announced they intended to spend $1.2 billion on employee retention, deferred payments to employee shareholders conditional upon their continued employment, and other retention incentives, per Sony's February 2022 earnings report. Bungie's layoffs on Monday come during a disastrous time period for game industry workers. Thousands of people have been laid off this year. Fortnite maker Epic Games laid off more than 800 employees in September. Epic CEO Tim Sweeney said the company had been spending more than it's making. Gaming conglomerate Embracer, known for rapidly acquiring game studios, is cutting lots of jobs and canceling games too. Saints Row developer Volition was completely shuttered by Embracer, putting hundreds of people out of work. It's not only the massive companies engaging in layoffs, though. Companies of varying sizes have been part of the troubling trend, like Telltale Games, which cut jobs in October, and Immortals of Avium creator Ascendant Games, which laid off half of its staff in September. You were the one who shared this article with me, so I think you're the one who want. So I think you were the one who wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, because it involves a couple of people that were key to the creation of the Halo, Destiny, and you name it. Like these people were the remaining workers of the Halo games. And well, specifically, there's one particular woman. I think it was a female worker. I've got her name already. I'm sorry, guys, if I don't remember her name. But she was laid off, and she was the creator of the Halo logo. Of all people, she got laid off from Bungie. I'm like, after 20 years with the company, I'm like, how you do that to that worker like that? Like, there's no job security, not even for the veterans. It's ridiculous, man. I don't understand that the employer's perspective just laid off people left and right every few months to a couple of years, you know?
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, and it's like the article stated, it's not like Bungie's the first one; it's just the latest one.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
So,
Ridiculous, I have to say. It says like there's no like fucking like job security. There's no notice. There's no just like you give your life and limb to the company just to make the best product, the best franchise ever in your game in history. It's like, what's that all about? You know?
yeah. So, yeah. Good luck to the people laid off. It sucks that it's happening. Unfortunately, it's happening to game studios all over though.
Yeah. Yeah, even the person who created the logo of Halo of all people have no job security. Now that's fucked up. Like that's just like, man. Because if I created something for that company and make some millions of dollars in the long term over the last 20 years, I would keep on to those employees that helped me get there to the best of my ability, though. if I have to lay them off for the time being and hire them in like later on in the future, hopefully they'll do that for this worker. You know,
Yeah.
I hope so because like you know you don't want to lose all your good workers and it'll dilute the talent. Your talent be so diluted in Bungie or any of these gaming companies that you make some cheap knockoff games of the franchise that was once beloved by millions of fans. That's what's going on now with Halo Infinite, Call of Duty's games in the last couple of games, with Modern Warfare 2 and 3 and all. It's like these gaming companies don't care, or at least that the leadership involved don't care about the preservation and keeping on the talent of their gaming the gaming franchise or gaming, you know, interactions and networking. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah. Unfortunately, it seems to be reality for many studios. Maybe, I don't know. They didn't like the article said. It didn't say why these people were laid off. It didn't say Bungie had experienced a big loss here or anything. But um,
that's the nature of employment at will. You let go or are fired or quit, and you give it time of the time working for that company or companies.
yeah. So until things get better economy wise, I'm guessing we will be able to see even more of this.
And the economy was doing so well back 4 or 5 years ago prior to the pandemic. You know, it's got to take like outside forces to force Trump into having Trump to do a national emergency on the pandemic of the COVID vaccine or we call of the COVID disease, excuse me. And I didn't do so well in like its numbers of like killing off millions of people. It's a few 100,000 people, if not a couple of million people at best. So it's kind of like you're just like what was the purpose of like a booming having this good economy and then it's like it's like the workers like your company went to the roof in notoriety overnight through Halo, Destiny, other games out there, and you just fucked it up. Like you just fuck up your own talent. So that's all I gotta say, guys. I'm just baffled by it.
All right. Yeah. Honestly, I felt I had the same experience. I was a freelance writer before the pandemic happened. Um, when the pandemic happened, it seemed 2020. When the pandemic happened, my writing job, I was getting few and far between. I was basically the only reason I made it through so well throughout is one guy had me on retainer. When that guy let me go on off retainer, in 2021, things started to seem getting better. Then some idiots voted in Joe Biden, who trashed the economy, and then my writing job was even worse than the pandemic, with few and far assignments being few and far between. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so if there's anyone who wants to know why I'm such anti-democrat, it's because their policies actually affected me personally. Um,
Yeah, well, we want to be anti-democrat. I'm with you on that part too for like quite some time now.
yeah, so but and again, it's just the economy. Uh, no one. I mean, the only one who thinks about it is the guy who was eating pudding in the White House. Um,
People
no,
call him
let me put it this way:
Biden.
the only one who thinks the economy well is gumming his pudding in the White House.
And
Hey,
that's
it's hey,
Putin Biden
it's
for you.
we've been talking about politics wise. We've been pretty good. We haven't mentioned it in a long time, so
Yes, yes, it's
so
been
we're.
such a long time.
I think we're allowed a couple jokes about the presidential plan.
Yeah,
Um,
some of our audiences are adults, so they understand the feelings. So they have every right understanding.
yeah, not yeah. So I will say if there's any people who voted Democrat, thanks, idiots. Um, but yeah, so I mean, like I said, the economy it's really bad. It's not helping. It's not really working for many people. I mean, I see prices of stuff raising that uh, there was actually just to bring up something. Uh, there's a restaurant near me called Huddle House. They when I first moved down here in 2017, 20 or 28, well, end of 2017. They had a special two could dine. It was two cheeseburgers and two orders of fries for like 740, so like 750 or something. Now
Oh,
that
that's
two now that two can dine for special is 9.79.
God damn! Wow, ten
Yeah,
dollars.
it raised over $2 in the last 6 years.
You better go to the Applebee's for that burger special. It's like less than $10, and you just pay the waiter like a $3 tip. That's it. You guys have a $13 offer or being a meal service.
Yeah, the only place I can get like a meal of a cheeseburger less than $10 is McDonald's.
Really?
Hardee's, if you want two cheeseburgers, because their burgers are the size of sliders, at least the one near me, that's over $10. Dairy Queen, it's like 11, $12, and that's not getting the drink. That's just getting a burger and fries. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, so it's I mean, but when you see prices like that, I mean, milk is. I went to a Dollar General, which is like one of the grocery stores in town. It's like milk is like it was $4 a gallon. They now have it like at 3.90 a gallon.
Oh wow.
So and that's while that might not seem big by New York standards, keep in mind stuff down here is supposed to be much cheaper.
Where in my part of my city, the cheapest gas last year was about $4 a gallon, 4.50 a gallon. So it's all right to live where I live if you're like a low income person or a working class person because you don't use the cars as much. You have to use public transportation most of the time. But even that weapon price, it used to be $1.50 to take bus one way to any place you want in the city of Long Island. Now it's $2.90 in year 2023 as of last month.
How much is Nassau Intercounty Express Bus?
Two
Because
ninety,
that's
same
two.
thing.
That's did they go? Weren't they $3 at one point?
No, there were 290 now, 275 earlier this year.
Because I remember it was 225, and that you could ride three different buses on 225 when I before I moved out of New York.
Yeah,
Um,
now it's just one transfer only you can get, and that's like 290 and nice buses.
wow. So on Nice Bus, you can only transfer once instead of twice.
That's my check. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, like
they
you
got rid-
said, everything's connected to the economy. So
yeah, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, not even. Um, you get like two free transfers taking the Long Island buses. Like if you literally took the Long Island bus like N4, N6, then take the N15, and so on and so forth, you get two free transfers. Now it's one free transfer.
yeah,
So
it was before when I moved. By the time I moved in 2017, I could get two. I could ride three buses on one bus fare because, like Doctor Games 101 said, they allowed you to transfer to two different buses um, on your commute. Wow, I didn't know they shrunk it down, only allowing one transfer now.
yeah, it sucks.
Some of the places I worked, if I still lived there, I'd be paying let's see, 5.80 um one way, $5.80.
Hmm.
Because there were places I worked where I had to take three different buses because I lived a far distance away from where I worked.
Yep.
Um yeah, so again, it's the economy.